Hi everyone, my name is Wana and you are watching Culture Diary. Now our guest today on the show, she would like to be described as an amalgam between unicorn tears and fairy dust. But we know her simply as a thespian and an actor. Her name is Ade Laoye. Welcome!
Sprinkles, fairy dust
sprinkles
all over the place. How are you, Anna?
I'm good. Good to see you.
Thank
Good
you
to
so
see
much
you.
for
You've been
having
very
me.
busy this past year.
I have. Yes.
So everyone now knows you from the TV series Hush. We know you from other things. Yes, we knew you from before. But I mean, I was so happy when you were, people get to experience you every day. What's that experience like? Because you sort of move from, I don't want to say obscurity, but just on your theater grind and all of these things to like prime time.
Yes. It's weird. It's actually really weird because I was on TV as a presenter every day. I had a daily entertainment news show, and so making the transition from being a presenter to an actor, even though I've always been an actor, but people saw me first in Nigeria as a presenter, has been really interesting. So I've gotten a lot of like, I didn't know she could act, or oh, so you want to now act, right? I'm like, I've been acting, but it's fine. So no, but being on Hush has been an incredible experience. A whole year, like a whole year. It's insane. I've definitely never done anything like that before. People literally stop me on the road and like, oh yes, Tika, oh yes, Tika. Like people don't even know my real name. They call me my character. And like, oh yes, Tika, oh yes, Tika. So it's been an incredible experience. I was so grateful for the show. Grateful for the relationships that I made through that show. It's been awesome.
But did you anticipate like the level of sort of popularity that would come with it?
I don't think anybody anticipated it, because even sometimes the producers are like, they can't even believe how well the show has done. I think you go into it hoping that it'll be great, but then it finally goes on air and the feedback and the response is just like, I think it's done probably better like ratings wise than any other Mnet show. It's insane. It's ridiculous.
But as an actor, there's also this point where, you want to flex your acting muscles, and you also, did you ever get to a point where you were bored of playing the character though?
No. Oye was a character, I'm so grateful to all the people that created her. She was a character that was always evolving, and she was strong. Oye was strong, she was fierce, she was fearless, independent, really stubborn and hard-headed. So there was always something for her to do. Oye was a character that never gave up. No matter what was going on in her life, she just never gave up. She was always looking for a way to fix things. She was a fixer, she was a campaign strategist, and her job was to fix things. So she was always jumping up and down, always trying to do things. So as an actor, I mean, there were moments of laughter, there were moments of sadness, there was grief. She was a meaty character, and I think every actor deserves to play a character.
So she gave you a chance to exercise all your muscles.
Absolutely.
Do you ever fear that it's going to be a while till you find something that meaty again?
I
Does
hope
that
not.
scare you?
I hope not, but that is a little scary. Yes, I hope not, but I don't want to say that in my experience, I haven't found there to be a lot of layered, multifaceted characters in a lot of Nigerian work. Not to say that there aren't, but there aren't many. There aren't many, and that's disappointing as an actor.
Speaking about that, I've heard a lot of actors complain about that, and the complaints sort of are double-sided. So you have the sort of the directors or the writers and complaining about how the actors don't stretch themselves, and then you have the actors who complain about the fact that the material doesn't stretch them.
Everyone's experience is different. For me, I've always felt like if the material, there's only so far you can take certain kinds of material. If you're a good actor and the material isn't great, you can make it work. You can act your way out of it. I've experienced that where you're like, okay, I'll give this character a weird quirk or something that makes her stand out, and then that becomes what the character is known for. If you have good material and if you have bad actors, then it kind of doesn't work either. Yeah. So you know, the material could be great, but if the actor is not delivering, you're going to think the material is bad. So I almost feel like it's easier to be a good actor with poor material than to have good material with bad actors. But you kind of have to make it work. My hope is that there will be kind of more writers and creatives who think outside of the box and create work that is compelling to watch and to perform.
Let's go into your background. You are what people call a theater geek.
Yes.
So you went to drama school. Something that's been interesting on this show is just talking to lots of people, and they've been talking about the fact that they wish they started doing what they were doing earlier. And I think you are one of the lucky people who actually got to study what you wanted to study and you know, practice that in school. And I can imagine the expectations of graduating from you know, a theater degree and, you know, wanting to do all this amazing work on Broadway. And then you come to Nigeria as well, and you still probably are expecting that, okay, you know, I'm armed with all the training, I'm gonna just blossom and bloom.
I will bloom.
Yes. Yeah. What was that reality check for you, like moving from America to Nigeria?
Well, the thing is, being in any kind of creative field, the reality hits you very quickly. Because even in the States, there are so many of us and very few opportunities. A lot of people have to wait table. I worked at a coffee shop, you know, trying to audition and make some money. And you learn very quickly. And they tell you in drama school, they're like, see, if there's anything else you can see yourself doing, maybe you should go and do that, because this life is hard. So they did prepare us for that, for the hardship of the artistic life. But you never think it's going to happen to you. You always think you're the one that will go out there and make it. So the reality of how challenging this lifestyle is, I was aware of that very, very early on. So you do it because you love it. You do it because of the passion. And you go to audition after audition after audition. You're told no over and over and over again. And then you finally get that one yes. And then it makes it all worth it. And you're like, oh, this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. You know, artists, we're so dramatic. But I think the difference being in the States and being in Nigeria, it's weird because it's easier in some ways and it's more challenging. So
what were your expectations coming to Nigeria? Because you were clearly ready for the American hustle life.
Yes.
What were your expectations? Did you think that it was just going to be like, you know, you just got in here and then, you know, you can sing, you can act, and you have the degree to back it up, and then they will just give you the job? What were you thinking?
When I moved to Nigeria, I moved for a couple of reasons, but I wouldn't say that I had a plan. You know, I came prepared to work hard. I'm like, okay, I'm going to come and work hard. I didn't have any connections. I didn't know anybody. I came to hustle. I came to grind. I think I didn't realize how it sometimes seems like Nigerians are looking for something different than what I had to offer.
In what way? Break it down, because this sounds juicy.
Okay.
And I feel like you're trying to hide something, so tell us.
No, it's just, it can be frustrating as someone who is trained and who works hard and who is talented to be in an industry where it seems like the things that are valued are kind of superficial. Someone can get, Wana's trying to get me into trouble.
You have to give us the juice, come on.
I've been to an audition with a well-known producer, movie producer here. I went to an audition, one of the very first movie auditions that I went to. She loved me. She's like, I think you're great. If I could, I would give it to you. But she was like, but you don't have the right look. And I'm like, that's fine. Like, you know, characters look different, it's fine. But what she meant was that you're not yellow enough. And I was like, so when it clicked, I was like, oh. And that's not to say that yellow people are not talented. That's not, you know, that's not what I'm saying at all. But it just seemed like there seems to be a formula for what success looks like here. Yeah. So you kind of have to have a certain look, or I think it seems like here a lot of people kind of wake up one day and say, oh, I'm going to act. So I'm going to be an actor now. Yeah. So you've trained and all this stuff, and you know you're in a movie with people who literally are just like, oh, somebody just said you should be in a film, and here I am. And it's frustrating because you're just like, no, but like you have to like train and you have to, you know what you're doing. So it just seems like there's just a lot of anything goes here sometimes. So you that are now coming on sets, you know, with your acting, is like you're doing the most. It's like, I beg, just
Fancy, what's wrong with you?
as in, what's your problem? So that can be kind of frustrating.
But is that even, is there not an added frustration with the fact that, yes, as an actor, you're used to being told no when you go for an audition. But then I feel like I wonder rather if there's an added layer of frustration that being told no is bad enough, but then you're going for every audition and you know you're not going to get the job anyway, but it's like you just keep showing up because the person that gets it is either looks a certain way or knows somebody there. So you're thinking, what is the point of doing this over and over again?
Exactly. I mean, and it's also because you learn very early on to not stress about things that are not in your control. You know, if I don't get the job because I'm petite and the guy they cast to be the lead is like super tall, for camera, you know, whatever dynamics or whatever, it may not work. That's fine. I can't make myself any taller. So you learn to let those kinds of things go. But when it's a case of like, I actually think I'm perfect for this, but because maybe for whatever reason, they don't want to take a gamble on me, or they feel like, Nigeria is interesting in the sense that because it is show business, oftentimes they'll pick the person whose poster will sell on even though the person might not be the one to do the best job.
Yeah.
So things like that are frustrating. But honestly, you just kind of learn to let them go and on to the next.
I mean, this is very interesting to me because there's something I've been sort of talking about with people lately, which is I feel like, especially now, like we're like at the height of it, where there's this sort of hustling backwards that's happening, right? Where, so the normal thing would be, you know, you showcase your talent and then you build on that, or you can build the hype on that to elevate your profile.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of the other way around. So just be famous and then hopefully somebody will just pick you to be in something.
Yes.
And how do you feel about that, where you're thinking to yourself, you know, we've been on this grind for a minute, you know, we've done the school thing, we've done the experience thing, working on different kinds of films and TV shows and all of that. And then you just have someone who's a socialite, you know, goes out, you know, takes lots of red carpet pictures, and then it's like, oh, she's like the star of this new movie. Wow.
Yeah. The way I also tend to look at it is the kind of producer or director who would cast someone like that in their movie is probably not the kind of producer I would want to work with. So in that sense, it's a blessing in disguise, because you're like, okay, chances are I probably wouldn't want to be in that movie anyway, or that show, or whatever.
Let's talk about theater. Those are your roots.
Yes, that's home.
But what's your experience been like? I feel like you can admit that you've been lucky with theater work, because you got to do Saro, you got to do Waka. You've done other productions as well. You've done London Life, Lagos Living. You've done For Colored Girls. I feel like there's no major show you haven't been on.
Yeah.
And what have those experiences been like for you?
Well, it's like you said, you know, theater is my heart. Like that's my heart. You know, that's where it all began. I don't know if I would call it luck. I think unlike film and TV, I think. Why are you trying to get me into trouble?
Express yourself, don't repress yourself.
Oh gosh. But I think there's something real about the theater, and that's what I love about it. Theater doesn't always attempt to sort of whitewash you, I guess, for lack of a better term. You are who you are. Like, it's all about realism and reality to a huge extent. So getting to do all those shows, I mean, again, it was just luck, maybe, favor, I believe so. And just good old-fashioned, nobody gave me a theater job. I went to auditions, I queued in line, I stood there with my headshots and my resume like, hey, I'm here.
But now that you're known, do you still get to like do the long queue?
I still went to an audition the other day, and I was sitting there with everybody. So and it was a theater audition, actually. They were like, we don't know who, we don't care, just everybody's here. Oh yeah, sit down, join them. So, which, you know, and I don't necessarily think, I mean, everybody, we're all there on the same hustle and the same grind. So it keeps you humble, which is nice. But yeah, so just theater has been, in Nigeria, I think there seems to be a renaissance of sorts going on right now. Definitely thankful to people like Keke Hammond, Balanle Austin Peters, Wale Ogutoko, who are just keeping the flame going, the flame burning. We don't have a Naija Broadway here. You have maybe 1 or 2 big shows a year, maybe during the holidays, Christmas and Easter. So it's not like we don't really have a lot of like proper theaters here where a show can come and be in residence for like 6 months or 1 year. So I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that happen here. I don't know that you can necessarily make a living off of theater without supplementing it in some way. Because like I said, there aren't that many shows on the scale. There are shows happening, but a show like Saro or a show like Waka, on that scale, you don't have a lot of shows like that. So there will always be, you know, the smaller plays, the smaller shows. But I'd love to see Nigeria have its own, Lagos have its own Broadway, where you're like, anytime I can go see a show that's on the standard of a West End or a Broadway show. That would be amazing.
Something that's also quite interesting is the glamour of being an actor. It's never quite commensurate with the amount of money that you earn, that people earn.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know that. They just it's just from the outside, it's seen as this very glamorous field.
Yes.
There, you know, you have your glam squad when you need to go to events and parties and all of those sorts of things. But a lot of time that you're not quite paid. Have you ever had this moment where you're wondering, can I continue this? Can I live like this?
All the time. All the time.
And how do you get through that? Because I'm sure there are moments where you think, I want to buy a house too one day.
Yes. A couple of things. At least for me, I have a really great support system. My family they've always been supportive of me being an artist. So in the States, there were times when I did not know how I was going to pay my rent, but my darling sisters would be like, how much do you need? You know, again, you know, for the umpteenth time. So there were always, I knew that last, I would have a roof over my head and I would have food in my tummy. Even if I couldn't, you know, buy clothes or whatever, I knew that I would not go hungry. So grateful for my support system. Also, just the passion for what you do. Everybody goes into this business for different reasons. Some people are looking to blow. Like, I want to blow, I want endorsements, and that's fine too. You know, that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But you learn very early on that if fame is what you're looking for, fame is very fleeting. And at what cost? What are you willing to do to get this fame that you want so desperately? For me, I was never, and I am not willing to compromise my core values because I want my name in a movie. It's not that deep for me. I'm an artist because I love to tell stories. I love how art shapes and changes humanity. I have a passion for it, so that's why I'm doing it. Money comes, money goes. There are lots of fields where you don't make a lot of money, but you're making a valuable contribution to society and to life. That's why I'm doing it. So I've always strongly believed that if you are connected to your passion, if you're doing what you're meant to be doing, you will be okay. So I've done many projects that I'm like, they're not paying enough, Sha, but this is a story that I find compelling. I'm like, I want to be this character. I want to tell this character's story. And then you've done other projects where you're like, I don't want to do it, Sha, but the money makes sense. So it's you kind of have to balance. You have to balance it a lot of the times. So people look at, you know, your Instagram feed. People don't get fooled by Instagram. Instagram is not real. It's not real. We keep telling you, it's not real. We get fooled by Instagram. Oh, face beats by. And like we said about, you know, show business, there is a show part of the business. As a star or a celebrity, you are expected to look a certain way. You're expected to, you know, be a trendsetter to a certain extent, wear the latest fashions, you know, whatever. That can be all that you're about. It's okay to look fabulous on the red carpet. There's nothing wrong with that. but then your work should also back it up. You know, I think where I tend to have the problem with is when they're all about the glam and the gloss of it all. There's some perks. There are perks to being, you know, people deliver you gifts, they send you food. They're like, oh, just put it on Instagram. You know, it's fun, it's nice. But there has to be substance. And when the glam and the gloss, that's not gonna last. It's not gonna last forever. It's like, what are you leaving behind? What does your work say about you? And for me, that's why I'm in this game. So many actors are broke, like I said. Don't let Instagram fool you. The Broadway musical Aida. It was on Broadway, I think in 2002. It's a Disney production. Music by Elton John and Tim Rice, played by the legendary Heather Headley. Ugh, I love her.
She's amazing. And
the music, it's just, you know, you just listen to like an album and you're like, God, why? Why
we actually didn't get to talk about your music because you're an amazing singer.
Thank you.
Ade shows off. That's the thing. She's one of those, you know, those kind of people that they just say, I'm just acting, that's all I do. That you just hear like belting a tune, you're like, auntie, what's the meaning of this? That's her.
Right now, I'd say right now, Viola Davis is giving me all the life. Okay. Like she commands every role, even if she's on screen for 10 minutes. Well, my favorite fruit is mango. Okay. So I love me some mango. It's mango season right now.
Would you be a mango?
Sure.
So why would you be a mango?
I think mangoes they complement like everything. I'd like to think I'm one of those people that kind of I go with the flow, and I'm highly adaptable. I have no idea what I'm saying right now. This makes no sense.
Mango juice and rum is really good though.
Yes, this mango, you know, you can, you know, switch it up. You can mix it up.
I sound like an alcoholic right now, but hey.
Dramatic?
You are kind of dramatic though.
But not in like not the bad drama, like good drama. Like I'm just very like,
Is there good drama?
There is good drama.
And there's bad drama?
I think so, yes. I won't grow up from Peter Pan, the musical.
Okay. It's quite interesting. I feel like it says a lot about you.
I reject adulthood. I'm not a fan. I'm sorry.
Like, adulting is too difficult.
I hate adulting. Nope. Okay, now you're going to get me emotional. Probably not spending more time with my mother. You will be okay.
Ade, you're getting deep on us right now.
Not to like wax all philosophical and poetic or anything like that. But for me, I feel like art is one of the few ways that we all realize how much we have in common. Like you hear a song and you listen to the lyrics and you're like, oh my gosh, I can relate. You're suffering from a broken heart or whatever. And I remember a particular album that helped me process losing my mom. Like I literally feel like it saved my life. So
what album was that?
It was another Broadway album. It's a musical called Next to Normal.
Okay.
And I feel like art is our way for seeing that, wow, I can relate to your struggle. You watch a play, you see a movie, and you see yourself in these characters. I think that's why storytelling is so important, is that you see yourself in these characters that are being portrayed, and it gives you some sort of shared communal experience. We all feel happy, we all feel sad, we all feel joy, we all feel defeats, we all feel frustrated, we all feel victorious, we all, you know, so I'm like, you see yourself represented in art, and it helps you understand that you're not alone. And I think that in itself is life-changing. When I'm told that I lost myself in a role, or that they felt like I was present, when you're present in the work. Because it's not about being, again, like I said, compliments are weird because it's like, okay, was I good? Was I good? And as artists, we're always sort of looking for validation.
Yeah.
Whether we admit that or not, we want our work to be good. But I think when it gets to the point of, I don't even care that you like me.
Yeah.
I want you to be so invested in the character and feel like you didn't even see me. I think that's those are compliments that I appreciate.
Ade, you got me all emotional today.
I'm sorry.
Thank you so much. It's the end.
Oh no, I don't want to go.
Where did the time go?
Where does it go? Thank you.
Thank you so much for
awesome.
being here.
Thank you.
And being honest as well. Most importantly.
Like I said, if I get in trouble, I'm blaming you. So I know where you live.
Yeah, you're on your own now. Oh my goodness, we've come to the end of the show. Big thank you to Ade Laoye, of course, sprinkling all her magic fairy dust on us. Also, massive shout out goes to Sauce Productions for giving us the beautiful studio as well. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. All the details you need will be at the bottom of the screen. Guys, have to go now. Remember, art is life.
Beautiful chocolate skin indeed.